Hello, hello. Hey.
Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good, going good.
Going good, go good. So, oh shoot. For some reason the lights aren't turning on. I'll go ahead and fix that. But hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin.
Oh.
And you're watching and are listening to episode 381 of DangIT Prodcast. And welcome again, everyone. We're actually streaming this at a later time, actually. In the evening.
Welcome to Dang It After Dark.
It's not the first time that we've ever had like a podcast happening at night. It used to be the usual schedule, if not at I think 2 hours, like at 9 o'clock or something like that.
It is true. I'd have to stay until midnight to catch the shit.
Oh my god. was that like a serious issue for you at the time?
At the time.
Yeah, sorry about that. We just kind of like picked a date and like that just kind of worked with everyone's schedule at the time, which is literally just me finishing up like whatever I need to do and then heading over to the guy's place to make like the whole recording process work. And I don't remember when we changed that up.
It's when we were all like, bro, we're tired.
Bro, we're tired. I guess so. Yeah, I guess we had like a conversation about how we couldn't really get like enough energy because it was literally at the end. So we just made like a decision to just pretty much just have it all take place just like in the middle of the day for the most part.
That way you and the viewers all had more energy.
This is true. I guess I really was winded at the time. I can't really go back to that point and feel that energy unless I check the podcast earlier. But I'm just.
I know that it was either at 10 o'clock or midnight. It was somewhere in between there that the podcast would start.
Something like that. Yeah, no, like. Yeah, I think for you it starts at midnight. For us it started at 9, and then we would have like probably 2 hours because it is just like all of us, and we would have like a time limit of probably 1 hour, or at least that's what I believe, and that would never really be like the actual like ending time, and so we would just have it like for probably like a good couple hours before we called, and at that point it's like, all right, time to go home. Because at the time we filmed like a bunch of different locations. Like at the time I was able to do it like at the university, so they were there with me too, and it was probably midnight around that time, and that's probably what led to us having some like Denny outings.
Midnight Denny's.
It's still I was gonna say, as far as the quality, it's still not like any better, but the experience is better. But in any case, this week has been a very eventful one, and it's still kind of ongoing, technically speaking. But I will just kind of go in chronological order of the things that happened this past week, as far as things happening outside of our own personal lives. So for Smash Brothers, first and foremost, yeah, that was on the 5th. So they initially showed off all the Mii costumes that you're going to get this time. Pretty much the last set of like amiibo costumes, or sorry, Mii costumes, and 2 of them were focused on Splatoon, and the other one was Doomslayer himself, which is super funny because I'm not sure like why they did this, but they had a different like title font for Doom as the crossover. It was just Doomslayer, but nowhere for like Doom or Doom Eternal. I don't know the specifics on that, but that was just kind of an interesting thing to just kind of like. Yeah, there's a loophole. What was it? I think it was either Bethesda or id that was like, finally, and they posted Chief and Isabel together. I was like, oh, that's actually heartfelt, and they are finally reunited, kinda.
Doom guy and Isabel like in the pictures.
It's great, but definitely the main thing that happened was Sora actually becoming the last DLC fighter for Smash Brothers, and the way
they never thought it would happen.
And yeah, the way that it was presented, first and foremost, like you're right, like aside from the whole Bowd thing, which happened like that was at least later announced as like that was actually the most picked like fighter out of everyone.
I swore they said it was Goku.
Was I honestly,
I
go
guess
ahead.
Sakurai meant the most picked game character.
Maybe.
Because I could have swore the actual official results from that ballot were actually Goku.
My God, Goku. But then again, I guess after that they had to go down the list of like actual like fighters that they could actually include, and it just so happened to be Bayonetta at this time. At the time, anyway. And so they went with that. And so I just kind of like ran with that as like, oh, that was probably the most like voted character, I suppose.
And it turns out it was just the easiest to do at the time.
Right, because when choosing Sora of all things, that was kind of like a licensing hell type of situation. You have
They said it required a lot of collaboration, meaning it took a lot of companies saying like, "Is this okay? Is this okay?"
So I could not tell you like where in the development of Smash Brothers 4 or Smash Bros Ultimate in which they were in the talks of doing this, what it feels like, or at least it kind of comes off as like it took it taking years to get like all the approvals and then the final stamp and whatever conditions that they have to meet to make it so.
We all knew the biggest and probably the only real obstacle to Sora getting into Smash was Disney. It's the mouse.
Oh, you're not going anywhere, Sora.
Oh, you can get fucked. Oh.
I took care of it, Sora. Now come on over to Smash Brothers.
Freedom!
Mickey Mouse over there like, sanctuary!
My sanctuary!
Oh, Sora, you and I!
Like, I was honestly surprised they let them use the Disney keychain.
That's actually, like, very shocking, despite all the other methods that they had to go around just kind of letting Sora and like his stage and like every single representation of Kingdom Hearts be there without Disney, except for that keychain.
Because is that not what I said they could do? Like, I said I could see it if they took out literally everything that had to do with Disney.
This is true, but it's so interesting that they decided to like leave that one little specific thing. And honestly, like I can applaud like all parties for like letting that at least pass, because that is like a legitimate like part of like Sora's design, or at least the
like I was honestly thinking they could have just made it like the Smash Circle.
Yeah, you know what? It would be kind of cool if they actually gave Sora like a special Keyblade for Smash Brothers. And
it feels like a missed opportunity.
That could have been really good. You know, leave it to the modders. Like they're gonna figure that out.
Effects. I mean, there's a Smash symbol on the door in his final Smash.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the conditions, I suppose. It's like you can't really put anything else on that, so it's just going to be the Smash door, which could possibly explain why it explodes at the end.
It was just wild at the end on the list of companies at the end of the game, and you see at the very end of the list, Disney. You're just like, excuse me?
What are you trying to do? Sakurai, explain. そうですね。
Disney. Kingdom Hearts, Disney.
It's so ridiculous. Just
thank you, Mickey-san.
Honestly, like with Sora being the last like fighter, kind of is like the icing on top of like the amount of work required to back up like this game that's already like already a challenge within itself.
For sure. Like, I'll tell you this right now. Like, I really wanted Master Chief, but I was fine with Sora. Sora, in my opinion, is another great choice. Like, and honestly, the way they did it, it felt like a true ending.
Yeah, and kind of going back to what I've like said about Sora, like I've said that it was going to be cool, but of course it would be like a huge endeavor to even work with that type of thing. So I just kind of left it like that. I didn't really think about it, and I just kind of let other people's ideas kind of like flow through. So at that point, I was like, oh, you know what, Master Chief would be kind of cool, or Doomslayer, like either one of those two. I can't think of anyone else though, so I just kind of left it at that. So I was super shocked and super surprised and happy ultimately that Sora made it in. So it was
because I was like, other people were saying like Crash. I was like, Crash would be cool, but he
Right.
doesn't feel like we're wrapping it up with Crash Bandicoot now.
Yeah. Honestly, like I hadn't even like considered them trying to make this like a very poetic like end to like Smash Bros. Ultimate, but it ended up being like that with like especially Sora, like specifically Sora, not just like the presentation of the trailer itself, which is well done like by itself, but Sora as like a character and like what he's done and like his respective games,
His fandom,
his fandom definitely, and of course the Smash Ballot, all just came into this, and I think it really is like the perfect end for like this game. Any other game like later on, I don't know, but
just keep porting Ultimate and adding to it. You cannot top Smash Ultimate.
yeah. I could tolerate like whatever the next like Nintendo console like that strays off from like the Switch design. It could just be like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe. Honestly,
Exactly. I'll take it.
we'll buy it again, if anything, for the performance.
How many times have people bought Mario Kart 8? Excuse me, hello?
Oh my god, you're right.
And they just keep adding more shit to it.
Honestly, when they announced Smash like Ultimate, of course they already had like a bit of footage here and there, but Smash Ultimate for some reason at the very beginning like of its announcement felt kind of like just kind of an upscaled version of like Smash 4 in like from my perspective.
Gameplay.
And then I saw gameplay, it's like that's actually a lot more touched up, like
that's a lot faster.
Yeah, it's a lot faster now, although I would love to see like a deluxe version that has like a lot more improved like performance. And I mean actually the game's already that's gonna be like the next undertaking, honestly, because it's already an established game. They would really have to start from the ground up for that one.
What better for a deluxe version?
What better than a deluxe version? Like a huge undertaking. We had thought that Sakurai was going to be absolutely done. He's got one last final project.
Like Sakurai seemed to really start enjoying doing the presentations and everything, but I was like, I don't know if he wants to stop now, because he just seems so happy when he's like doing the presentations now.
Honestly, I love like the energy he brings. It's kind of like it's not like super duper hype, but like for the characters he cares about, like, well, not cares, I shouldn't say cares about, but the ones that he's passionate about. Like when it came to Terry, like he was pretty big on that shit.
Oh yeah, like he was very, very passionate about Joker, Terry, and even Kazuya.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, aside from like the passionate moments, like there's even like some of these somewhat awkward like moments with him are like so special about these presentations that he makes.
I fucking love the one from Kazuya so much. He gets knocked out. I didn't do very good.
I remember that, like, ooh, I didn't do. Wait, yeah, I remember that.
I fucking love that.
That's so genuine.
It just shows he's a normal person.
What is this? Is he a gamer? It can't be.
No, like, even with characters that he wasn't like super familiar with, he still presented it in such a great way, like with Banjo.
I don't remember too much about that presentation, actually.
He even said, in Banjo's iconic phrase, "Gah."
That's great. Honestly, I'm still hooked up on the fact that like there's someone like from the editing team and the director essentially who are kind of giving out like the instructions of how like this video is going to be edited. And my favorite thing about the Sora one was actually about him like putting up the first poster, right? And you know, there's a couple spaces, but there's like a Smash general like poster for like Sora, and then it cuts over to kind of showcase every single like costume. And then it cuts over to him like already like putting up like the fourth poster. Very not like nonchalant, same audio like audio levels and everything.
Absolutely.
And he just
Do you
turns
think we're
around.
gonna get the new Smash Ultimate poster now that the banner's finished?
That'd be so cool. You wouldn't be able to see it like from this camera angle, but I would literally put it like above like where like the top of the window is. Because
you could always raise the camera a bit.
Yeah, there'd be like really good real estate like up there to place that. So I'd be kind of down for it. I just need to make sure that I have like a better tripod at the time.
Yeah, either that or just get a wide angle lens.
Oh yeah, you're right. I need to invest in that too. Yeah, this is just like the stock kit lens, and it does well for just like for whatever a content creator needs. But you know, going forward, I probably will need to invest in like a wider angle lens and a tripod.
Because like I was sitting here, I was like, who is really foolish enough to buy the Smash banner poster before the fucking roster's complete?
Honestly, like it'd be cool. Honestly, if anything, the initial banner and then the final banner. I could say.
Like I understand. I even understand the collector's thing of like I have every single poster up until the banner was finished.
This is true. Yeah.
But I just feel like if you really want the poster itself, you would just wait until it's complete.
Right. And honestly, like I feel like Nintendo should sell something like that. Like they should do that. Like I'd consider it. It might be a lot though, but
I'd consider it. It's. I didn't want to say goodbye to Smash. I still don't, but all good things must come to an end, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you know, like just like how OG Smash Brothers happened, how Melee happened, Brawl, like we can always, especially if you own the game, like you can always like hop back to those games. And I think them just existing, having like a point in time which they were released and they were the talk, I think gives them enough meaning. And even more so when it comes to Smash Brothers Ultimate. I mean, it could be like many years to come and we can literally just jump back into this game and just talk about like the significance of it and our experiences with it. And you know, like it's something that we can always like look back on like from the past for as long as we live and for as long as we pass that stuff down to people. So
and it would have been ported so many times as we talked about it.
I know. There's also that possible like outcome too. Like this game came out in 2018. This game came out in 2018. It's now it is now 2072.
They have added over 200 fighters.
Oh my god. Like they kept the policy, everyone is here.
As you can see, Master Chief is fighting Kratos.
Oh my god. All of a sudden, well, I think at that time, like, we're gonna see a lot of like new people like joining the roster, and we're like, who the fuck is? Like, if you were to literally hop into a time capsule right now and just jump into the future, who who are these guys? I think by like what I'm possibly fearing of the future of a Smash Bros. Game is just seeing like someone with outlandishly colored hair or hairstyle. And he's just like an anime character. I'm like, who the fuck is this? This is probably how people feel about Fire Emblem characters.
I was going to say, that character is probably from Fire Emblem.
Oh my god.
You literally just described a Fire Emblem character.
Honestly, if it's some character from Fire Emblem Next Genesis, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is this? I'd be both scared but also intrigued. How curious.
You're like, I am scared yet curious.
Turns out he still has blue hair and is still a swords dude. I'm like, oh, come on.
He's not from Fire Emblem, but he might as well be.
It's like, oh my god. It's like, they need to stop. But at that point, yeah, it's just there's like so many possibilities like with Smash Bros. That they can still pick up from. It's just that the future for it is so uncertain now that like if Sakurai really was to really just kind of like retire from that, it's gonna be
cry.
It's
Everyone's
gonna be
cry.
Yes, for sure, because of the fact that like he kind of let this and he's responsible for all this happening. But for the next person to try to pick that up, it's not going to be the same.
And that is literally like Atlas holding up the fucking Earth.
And it's going to suck because like that person may not have that level of influence that Sakurai has to connect to all these different parties. and that's just simply like an experience thing. So I mean, it'd have to be someone who's already renowned, or someone who's kind of already in the works of communicating with people, a protege, if he even has
like
one.
you're saying, it could be a Toyotaro Toriyama situation.
Yeah, so I mean, that'd be crazy, and I could see something like its potential. Honestly, if I also wouldn't be upset if it took a different direction too, like if they kind of like rebuilt it like from the ground up, maybe like even if you couldn't include everyone in, but you can include like all the Nintendo cast, but the mechanics have been tweaked and refined. So here comes our rollback netcode, in addition to a bunch of other features, like maybe like bringing back like a subspace emissary type of scenario again.
But I just feel if you roll back that roster, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. But if it comes down to the fact that you can't get everyone in because of the licensing, because you don't have that level of influence, just like outside, you might have to like change things up to better please everyone, moreover than you upset everyone.
I mean, Smash Brothers Ultimate won Best Fighting Game.
Oh my God.
Like, Fighters won the year before that, and it was well deserved. I'm also very sad Fighters is probably anything. I'm very sad about that. But like the fact that a Smash game won Best Fighting Game of the Year, that was the first time that's ever happened, I believe.
I guess so.
Because like it had just reached, like Smash had just reached a peak of Smash has always been huge, but it's never been this huge.
Could you recall any other Smash Bros. Games that got like any place in like best fighting, like as maybe a nominee? Because I honestly don't remember.
I myself don't know, but I know who will know. Oh, Google.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh, Phil. Phil's on vacation. He can't do this.
Let's see here.
I will talk about Phil real quick, since he's not actually present this time. He's actually like he's technically on leave, just not like on a cruise or anything like that, so he's not able to join us for conversations, which sucks because I kind of wanted him for like his very strong opinion for the next topic.
It says awards for Smash Brothers specifically. It was nominated for best best mobile/handheld game.
Okay.
And it won the best fighting game for the Wii U.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Let's see. The 3DS was nominated for 2 awards. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U nominated and winning 1, which was the best fighting game. So I don't know if that was it won best fighting game, maybe? Or if I'm just reading that wrong. But let's see. With no Smash Bros. Nominated for a woman. Oh yeah, that's right. Smash was nominated for Game of the Year. I was honestly thinking it might win that year.
What did win though?
What was Game of the Year 2019? Let's check actually. Game of the Year 2019. I feel like I should remember. I don't remember at the moment though. It was Sekiro.
Oh, for Game of the Year? Oh, yeah, okay. I was wondering, like, in its own, like, kind of, like, category of fighting games. Because I was like, what other fighting games were there? Because, if I recall, 2020 and 2019 may not have, like, a lot of stuff there. Like, I think Grand Blue, like, Versus was somewhere, like, between those years. And I think it kind of ended up winning because it was, like, one of the few that, like, really did come out. Something like that.
That is true though. Now I think about it, there was Smash 4 came out. Was it 2013 or 2014 when Smash 4 came out?
Smash 4. I want to say 2014. Because
I remember I didn't have a Wii U, and I was just browsing YouTube and I saw trailers for. I was like, oh shit, a new Smash game's coming out. And like, because I hadn't played Smash in a while, and I was like, oh shit, new Smash game coming out. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, I see the trailers, and I saw I think the first trailer I watched was the one for Little Mac.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, shit.
Because I remember seeing, like, the actual trailer for Smash 4 when it was, like, split off to Wii U and 3DS. That was the first time we actually knew about that. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, that's super cool. Let me see what... Yeah, it was 2014. September,
And the
actually.
Ice Climbers were 3DS fucking exclusive.
Or do you mean the other way around?
No, wait, the Ice Climbers weren't in Smash 4. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought they were. I was like, wait, were they exclusive to one console? No, they just weren't included
They
because
weren't.
the 3DS could not run it.
Yeah, 3DS couldn't run it, so they didn't want the Wii U to have that like edge for it, so they just excluded them. They added different like versions or like game modes for like both, but that was the only thing that made them really different, aside from the performance and how it was overall like presented to people. But yeah, I mean, my experience with Smash Brothers was like Melee, as far as ownership, Melee, and then just like 3DS, and then Ultimate.
But
Because
you never played. You never played Brawl.
I played it. We're just talking about ownership anyway. But
I owned Melee. I owned Brawl. Like I played 4 through my brother,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I've owned every single one except 4
Yeah.
and 64.
So yeah, like I've essentially played like all different versions of it. But as far as like owning them, there's just like only 3. But
Yeah, I've owned all of them except the very first Smash, which was for the 64, and then the 4th one for the Wii U.
was that announced for like Nintendo Switch Online for the N64 OG Smash Brothers?
I don't think it was. Was it? I don't think so.
They should. I guess they had to talk about like online, because that would have to like categorize itself as an online game that you can do, right? Or I guess they could also do local, but they did just talk about it in their announcement that like you could play like online multiplayer with people with Star Fox, with Mario Kart. So that would also extend to Smash Brothers, and I guess
I'd be
maybe
slow down for Star Fox 64.
so I guess that's gonna be like down the pipeline as far as like games that they're gonna have that like level of online too. So, well, at least that's hopeful. That's wishful thinking. So we'll see if they'll actually do that. That's probably why they haven't announced it like until later. Yeah, I did want to like talk about this real quick. You know, I know that Phil might like bring it up like later on, but I might as well add it in here. This is
He's
kind of
furious.
he was furious about this, right? And
He was pissed.
it talks about Sora a little bit, like in Sakurai's presentation. He added some additional news that like all 3 Kingdom Hearts games, as far as like the collections 1 and 2, and then Kingdom Hearts 3, were going to be included with the Switch, but as a cloud version. And that set Phil off, but essentially that means everyone is able to play. Yeah, I mean, to give some context, Phil is pro physical game collection / preservation, but you know, when it comes down to it, like digital would also be the next best thing. Owning it through the cloud and not ever owning like or renting any rights to it is beyond him. Like that's not okay for him. So
Like just the fact that he could not have it in his collection either digitally or physically, he was that set his ass off.
it's true, and I think that might require just like a touch bit of like elaboration on it too, because of the fact that, you know, having like had conversations with him and a couple other people too along the way.
He's not wrong in his points. In his points, he makes sense, and I get it. It does feel like he said one thing. It feels lazy. It does feel lazy, honestly. Like
Yeah.
except for 3, because even Phil said, let's just say if I did agree about 3, but I'm like, I mean, because 3
is kind of much more graphically demanding.
Yeah, I feel like 3 would have a tough time on the Switch unless you optimized it.
Yeah, honestly, if you just optimize it so it's like it runs, but it's like at lower like frame rate, like I would understand that. But
the other 2 collections are perfectly doable.
They're perfectly doable, and it's kind of one of those cases where it's like it's just based on like what Square wanted to do or whoever's in charge of like of that aspect of it. Because on the other side, you have Dying Light, right, which has like its complete like definitive edition for the first game, but the second one's a cloud version. So you look at like you look at Kingdom Hearts and you wonder what's going on with that one, because it's literally all of them. And
it makes more sense for Dying Light 2 being a cloud version because how graphically demanding it is.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm just kind of curious about like how that's going to like end up like playing as like someone's experience with that. And I'd also say the same thing about Kingdom Hearts, but it's also the same thing. I would also want to say that having like the first like 2 collections as just like we can only just do cloud versions here.
Cap.
Yeah, like there's a decision made, and I'm for the story or the narrative that is that it's just simply cheaper for them to do that, like
more cost efficient.
Yeah, because well, I've heard a couple things, and you know, obviously it's the internet, so just take this with a grain of salt, but someone was saying that these PlayStation 3 games or ports, because they originated 1 and 2 collections were like originally PlayStation 3 games, and when they ported to PlayStation 4, reportedly they had some issues at the beginning as far as just like how they ended up playing on the PlayStation 4 until they got patched up later on. So I can understand if there is like an issue like with each type of like port that comes with its own difficulties here and there that may not even like be resolved by launch, because honestly we're in this timeline where games can just be released and be patched up later on. But having said that, though, that doesn't mean it's like not impossible. I just feel that they can like get a lot of like monetary benefits for just putting that on the Switch, because like the Switch has like a pretty good track record of sales just of physical copies of games that just so happen to be on other console platforms too. Like, I mean, this is just legitimately one example and one example only, but like, you know, when what was it? I think it was NIS America, whoever publisher did like the East series, they had like a stock of East 8 like physical copies, and from what Phil had told me, like an hour later Switch copies were gone but PlayStation 4 ones were still there. So I was like, that's interesting. So it just goes to show that even with the lack of performance on its side, people would want to get it for the Switch.
For the novelty.
For the novelty and the portability of it. So it's just like, wow, dude. This is what Nintendo does to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's because the Switch is like, yeah, it's like, I think it's for both the portability and the novelty.
Mm-hmm. Which is why, like, distributors, like, or limited publishers, like, limited run, like, exist, and they put it, like, on, well, obviously, like, there's, like, digital versions, because I think that's kind of, like, the next, like, step as, like, it's still, like, a process, but, like, as far as distribution, like, it's a lot easier, but, like, limited like print publishers will go in here and just like have physical copies of it, literally just putting the data into a cartridge and like releasing that package. For Phil, that was like, I mean, there's a lot of them, but No More Heroes 1 and 2 are like an example of like games that were originally just digital for Switch, but they also have physicals too if you end up getting one, actually. So
right.
But yeah, going back to that topic though, yeah, I understand. Honestly, like, I think there can be like some good monetary gain for like the first 2 collections, and I understand 3 would be like a huge undertaking for that, but I think it would be worth it at the end.
Oh, it's doable.
Yeah, but of course I don't really know like their side of it, so only time will tell. Honestly, I feel like this is a position where like if fans are loud enough, I don't want to say that like that, but if they're loud enough, then I think they can get the ball rolling to possibly get that like later out, like in the future.
You remember when Sora is writing all the Keyblades and fighting the darkness? That's literally the fan base.
Yeah, I think that's also the hardest thing for them to actually like put in there. It's like,
that's literally the fan base. That's literally the fan base in Square's The Darkness.
Oh my god, just imagine the board meeting where it's like, all right, listen guys, what if we put Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Switch? Could you guys see any foreseeable difficulties aside from the just general portability, like port process? Specifically, what do you guys see? And literally all hands raise up, and they talk about the ensemble of like keyblades in that one cutscene or that battle sequence.
They're like, you're right. There's a whole lot of shit going on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Frame rates are probably gonna tank.
Yeah. So honestly, like I don't blame the Switch on this, like on this end for it, because honestly, like Nintendo doesn't want to like really budge with that right now. But I don't know, it's hard because honestly, like it's easier to point fingers at like one company or another to like hey, why is this not happening? And if there's no yeah, in this case, like obviously we're kind of upset with like Square Enix for just like letting this happen, but I also understand that like Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically is a problem. So
It's too strong.
It's too strong. But I do hope that they do just kind of like listen in on what like fans are saying. Unfortunately, I've seen many reactions that don't even talk about like cloud version at all, or even have any kind of critique to it. It's just like, oh shit. They're like, actually, it's more like, oh shit, it's actually on the Switch, and that's the end of like their reaction to it.
They're just happy they can play it on the Switch.
This is true. So I mean, everyone has like a different perspective, and
I think it just really depends on how you look at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for us, we kind of seen like both sides of it.
Yeah, it's like if you don't care if it's physical or not, you just want to play it, then I can see perfectly why you're happy.
Yeah. But those who like obviously like want it for their collection and just kind of want to have that for them, understandably. Like yeah, like Philip. I think also like our mutual friend like Brian as well, who's also kind of like, well, yeah, bleh, cloud version. Anyway. But yeah. I did want to talk about another game that recently released this week, and that was Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl 2. Number 2? No, just that game.
I heard it's good.
I heard it's good too. I do also hear from the corner of like Twitter, just like about some problems here and there. But honestly, from what I see, like aside from the fact that there's no voice acting right now, which does kind of like affect like your, I guess, engagement like with the characters just being in this space, it's still a good game. I will pick that up at some point. I just haven't like really gotten around to that one yet, so I have plenty of time. That shouldn't show like that shouldn't like go away for a while. So
got you.
But yeah, I like from what I've seen, like it's pretty much just like an amped up Smash Brothers game.
Yeah, it's basically like basically what they were doing with Slap City, but in Nickelodeon.
Yeah, honestly, as we were talking about like a protege or like the next person to pick up Smash Brothers, honestly, like if you can't get the licensing all together, literally just like take notes from what All Stars is doing right now. Just at least work on the netcode, like just work on just the pure gameplay of it, and just like really make it its own entity, like that separates it from Ultimate at the very least.
Which is going to be the toughest thing to do. And
I mean, I can't really say too much about like Nick All Stars because I haven't really like actually played it. But that's a game that has a lot of potential to just simply improve with patches here and there.
Yeah, it just needs to be polished.
Honestly, I could have sworn I heard something about voice acting being included later on, but if that's not the case, then it's like that's kind of okay because it's definitely a game with a limited budget like tagged on it, and that was just one of those things. It kind of just focused a lot of its resources to just like the gameplay and just the net play of it, and also just simply getting like all these different parties to agree. Granted, it's just within Nickelodeon, so that kind of probably made it easier for sure than what Smash Brothers is doing, so I can appreciate that. There's also another game that came out this past week, and that was Alan Wake Remastered. It's oddly enough, this game is kind of hard for me, or I guess just harder to like really pick up actually. Physically. Because you can't just simply download it. It's like $30, so that's pretty cheap. but for those who want to pick it up physically, for some reason, it's kind of hard to come by. At least from my experience, just trying to order it and pick it up from Best Buy, it's weird because I
download shit.
Yes, that's definitely like. Honestly, we could have like a full conversation about like the pros and we'll have a pros and cons list of physical collecting, digital collecting, and just simply cloud streaming stuff.
I mean, all have their merit.
All of them actually have their merits for sure. In this case, for the physical, the con is that you may come across an unforeseeable situation where they don't have the stock for it for some reason, and they have to
wait till they do.
Yeah, they have to delay your order. I mean, also the other thing is just like limited run, for example, right? I've been waiting for Blaster Master 3 for.
Is that still not in?
Still, I would have told everyone that I got it. Like,
dude? You ordered that like 2 months ago.
About 4 months ago. The wait time's 4 to 5.
Are you kidding me?
It's the wait time is legitimately, and they outlined this. It's 4 to 5 months. So by the end of 5 months, that's when I'll start questioning it. Because I put that pre-order like early June, so I haven't like raised like my voice about it. So
when did it release?
Like I think shortly a month after like that pre-order I made.
The fuck is taking so long?
Also, Ghost Hand is like in the chat. Hello, Ghost Hand. Says Nick has a lot of technical potential. The raw gameplay like has huge complexity. Sure. I agree with that. Honestly, like it's still like a game that just released like early for the public. But people definitely are just kind of digging into that and just like really working on the true mechanics. I mean, there's even a competitive play version like mode of it. So
I mean, you knew there was gonna be.
Of course, just because of I guess, just the history of like that type of gameplay.
It's a Smash-like game. Of course, there's going to be competitive gameplay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'm not like kind of going back to the whole order for Blaster Master 03. I'm not that upset about that because that just seems to be part of the course if you decide to do a pre-order there. So,
taking fucking forever.
Yeah, close to half a year, right? I'm still relatively new to this like whole process. I've only like gotten the one game from them.
Feels like first time.
Which was like, what was it? Scott Pilgrim vs. World, and I couldn't tell you how long that wait period was, but it was certainly a wait period. I'll tell you that.
I thought it was a lot faster than the one you get than fucking Blaster Master.
Honestly, I think it was. Like for some reason, like it was one of those games that like kind of came out of nowhere, and I got an email for it. I was like, oh shit, it's finally shipping, and then it just arrived shortly afterwards. So just gotta check the emails daily and just see how that goes.
Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet?
Is it here yet? And I know that like I got that game on pre-order, but there was another One Step from Eden, and I haven't done any other like pre-orders like through limited run since because I've not really been interested in main games that they're showing. But
Phil does all of them.
Phil does all of them. I mean, like he's Mr. Switch collector at this point. Like
if it's on the Switch, he's getting it.
He's not like the video game collector, but he's definitely the Switch game collector.
It's literally if it's on the Switch, he's getting it.
Bryce says, "Where's the gameplay?" I was like, how dare you?
Where's gameplay, huh? Is your Midoriya?
Well, is it Midoriya?
Where's gameplay? Huh?
It's like, y'all, this is jokingly said, but y'all come here on this stream where I have every single creative control for it. And you're like, what the fuck was the gameplay?
Where's gameplay, man?
Fake gamer alert. I'm like, oh no.
I don't see your G Fuel code.
Poser.
I don't see your G Fuel shaker and your G Fuel code.
Oh, actually, what's Ghost Hand saying here? He's saying physical media is being killed outside of special editions. It's more cost effective for companies to just do digital only. It makes sense, honestly. It's even the whole talk about like how Some other companies, as far as their workload, they try to keep things digital than say like physical paper, like loading and everything like that.
I
So
just say it's more convenient in my opinion. I just think it's like less like not necessarily cost effective, but it's way more convenient in the
yeah,
sense of like
yeah.
I don't have to wait to get my hands on it. I just have to click a button.
Yes, and honestly, like I should also shine a light on like the benefits on digital like collecting as well, because
Play at
honestly,
midnight.
like that's kind of like what I kind of wanted to do, at least for like the Xbox, right? Because of the fact that they put so much of an emphasis on backwards compatibility, and also the Game Pass is integral to the entire experience at this point. That honestly, it just seems like it's a lot better just to be able to have that like all downloaded, and even if you don't like physically own it, like you can play it through Game Pass, and that's still being able to play like your fair share of the game and then some. It also just seemed like really appealing to me that like I can literally pull out like a physical hard drive, and that's all the library that I have for this game so far. But I understand also like what Phil is coming from with that, but for sure, digital is super duper convenient. Honestly, I debated whether or not I should have gotten like the digital version of Smash Ultimate for that reason, because it's like, oh, I could just like hit on the icon and it's like, all right, we're just gonna start that up.
Like I was honestly gonna do that, but like I was gonna do that, but for Christmas my family got me the physical one. Instead, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
That's also fine too. Gus was also saying that even physical editions today are either a code to redeem a game or a disc that demands like over 60 gigabytes of download. Fallout 76 famously used a cardboard disc.
That's hilarious.
Holy shit, I didn't even know about that shit.
That's
what?
Fucking hilarious.
That's so funny.
Also, I just want to say I was grateful because I got my Switch and I got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm not complaining that it was physical. I was very grateful that I got my Smash. I was like, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that like I gifted Gabe a digital like code for Animal Crossing New Horizons. So, I mean, like the thing with like, I guess like the potential con of like digital is the fact that like you do have a copy of that game, but technically speaking, like it's not like a full like 100% ownership of the game. More so, it's like you buying kind of like, or at least renting the license for it. I talked about some famous cases in which like
it's always on your account though.
Yeah, it's true. But there's also been like
you technically own a digital copy. You own a code essentially.
Mm-hmm. But the only downsides to having that type of situation or having that as like your ownership of the game is whenever a company who owns the licensing for that wants to like retract that, and they actually like pull the digital like away from you. So even if you own it and you try to like play it, it's no longer available for you. One famous example is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Apparently, even when you bought it like digitally, like for the Xbox, like for example, you couldn't play it. So it was like obviously if you had the physical disc, it's fine, but for those,
which is weird.
Yeah, super weird. Another example. Actually, you know what? This is not too big of an example, but it's one of those cases where like, a game was temporarily lost for a little bit due to licensing. That was Scott Pilgrim. I think it had something to do with Universal, and it was only until recently that like we got like both digital and physical versions of the game. More so digital, but Limited Run also had like its own running limited publishing of the game. And then there was another one. I think Transformers Devastation, technically speaking, because of the licensing, you actually couldn't. Yeah, it was something about Hasbro that was like the issue with it. So you can't actually buy that game like digitally anymore. So it's like, what the fuck, bro? So those are like few issues. Oh, there was also another one. It was actually obviously it's GameStop, and the employee kind of has to say this because like they want you to come back to buy physical games there. But he did bring up a fair point about like a situation where it was a tournament, right? And apparently, unfortunately, I think there was either some like signs of cheating, or something, because it caused like him and his team to get banned, and their accounts were linked to the game. So I guess they couldn't like really play like through their profile or something like that. Something prevented them from being able to play the game again, essentially.
That's weird.
And I was like, that's super weird, and that's super like situational, but that does suck all the same. So yeah, I mean, I think there's pros and cons to everything. Like, and honestly, the big thing to talk about is just simply like the longevity of like how long you're able to play that game, physical or not. Like physical games can just simply just get like dirty. They can break. Digitals can possibly like be taken away. Possibly, rare case scenario. I don't really, honestly, don't see like any other reasoning for that. But I think cloud version kind of like, and this falls like further against like their side. But the fact is, like, if the company even supports streaming services from that anymore, like for example, like Stadia, for example, like that was supposed to be a big thing, but now, like, where's the support for that? Like Google's like very. Honestly, you don't really see it mentioned these days. Like, they still do.
No, you do not.
So yeah, you don't like, they don't really like outwardly like support it. They do still provide the service, but who knows for how long. This kind of like carries over to my next topic, and that is like, ever since we talked about cloud gaming, like from Phil's stream where he went off about cloud streaming.
I'm sorry.
I was like, because he honestly asked like, how's Stadia doing? Like, what have they been up to? So I volunteered to just kind of do some research, and I was like, oh, well,
I didn't think you'd get so mad.
But I think that's also important, because it's all part of like the perspective of things, and just like the nature of like what it is, and the implications of having like one or the other type of like game. So I essentially signed up for Stadia for like its free trial. It had like a special offer, and I kind of low-key just really wanted like both the Chromecast and just like that controller, and I didn't want to really pay extra for it. There was a cost though to it, and that was you have to pay like a full price game, at the very least $60. And unfortunately, I decided to choose Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which at that time, even now is way deducted in pricing. But I decided to go with that one because one, it's kind of a bad UI on Google Stadia's part, but also I don't have the copy of that game myself. But it's one of those cases where like I bought the game, but I don't own it. I just bought the rights to stream this game for however long Google decides to support Stadia and like whatever servers run that game. So they can literally die tomorrow, and I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue. Otherwise, I tried playing like some other games. Granted, like they weren't like graphically heavy. Like they have Ys 8 actually like available there, as well as like Trails of Cold Steel 3, which are nowadays a little harder to find physically anyway. I
remember with Google streaming, their big advertising at the beginning of it was the graphically heavy Odyssey.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Honestly,
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, I haven't really like delved into that. I just dabbled with Stadia. What was it? xCloud or Xbox Cloud Gaming, and that's it. I might try out Luna, Amazon Luna, and just see like how that plays out. But I'll tell you this: like, if you're like hardline to the internet, like you can do cloud gaming, and you will start to just kind of forget that you don't have anything running it. It's just you're streaming it.
But even if you just have really good Wi-Fi, it runs fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the best Wi-Fi, so yeah, I'm kind of at a loss there. But like from my computer, like I just need the browser open. I will say, like, I decided to play like a graphically heavy game like through like xCloud Gaming, and that was Forza Horizon 4. And there was definitely some graphical issues with that one. It was really fuzzy in comparison to just like a clean image of it. But as far as the performance was actually pretty good. Like,
it's honestly, it just feels like you're playing it on your Xbox and your computer.
Yeah. So like, aside from like a little bit of fuzziness here and there, like like as far as the gameplay, like it runs smooth. So
like a dream.
right, because obviously it's like it's a Xbox console playing this, like the Series X, like understandably running it, and you're just simply streaming it. So
that's what's wild, is that you
yeah.
can get Series X quality on something that's not a Series X.
Yeah. What's it's actually interesting because Xbox actually released like a video like about a week ago of you know, any updates to like PC and cloud gaming. And they were talking about like the benefits of just like the cloud gaming like side of it, like especially for someone who actually doesn't have like an Xbox like console and have friends who do have Xbox consoles to be able to play with them, and there not being a limitation. Matter of fact, aside from like the whole fact that you don't have to download the game, the fact is that like
for $15 you might as well own an Xbox.
Yeah, that's pretty much like how it comes down to it. You do also have like Xbox Game Pass on PC there as well, but you know how like Xbox cloud gaming is kind of still in beta, and I think they won't really come up with like a finalized version until like this stuff like hits like honestly smart TVs essentially. That's why
I'm telling you, Microsoft cracked the code. They figured out, because there's like we're going to have our exclusives, but we're not going to stop there. We're going to take this cloud gaming and we are going to create this network, this universal fucking cloud gaming network, and we're going to link it to literally fucking everything. So that way we don't even need a fucking console anymore, Sony.
Where we're going, we don't need consoles.
We can stream this next gen hardware like it's legit from our new console.
Mm-hmm.
Chip shortage. What chip shortage?
I wanted to read a couple of Ghost Hands comments because like these are also like very impactful too. He was saying that physical media is a safeguard against companies just killing games. Unfortunately, everything today requires you to contact like a server to even play a single player game. Huge debacle.
True.
Ghost Hand also adds there was a huge debacle over Hitman where you can't play like offline at like on launch even with a disc. He also added that PlayStation Now is actually pretty decent too. I think I think that like PlayStation like Now was still like that was developed even when they were putting in I think PlayStation 2 even, but PlayStation 3 games. And if they just, from what I understand, they don't really like do that anymore. They just have PlayStation 4 and 5. But if they just kept those previous generation games on PlayStation Now, they would have it'd be so much better, honestly. Because
they still need to do. They would have to do what xCloud is doing right now, which is legitimately. It's legitimately a Series X through the airwaves.
Yeah. I guess that is. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is a limitation. So.
They've ascended.
Mm-hmm. So I guess, yeah, you'd have to have like PlayStation 5 be able to do backwards compatibility like that to allow PlayStation 3 or even 2 to like show up. Otherwise, yeah, we're kind of screwed over there.
Like, here's the big thing, because I remember I watched fucking the Keith Crew. Remember I showed you his skits. He was actually being genuine about when he was talking about when
really?
when Xbox bought Bethesda.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's being genuine. He said, I know I clown, like I know I joke, I clown on Xbox. Like I'm a little biased when it comes to PlayStation, but I mean I can't lie. He's like, I can't lie. This was a huge dub for Xbox, and he's like. And he said, like, you know, I love Bethesda. I love Bethesda games. But he said, yeah, I cannot lie when we say Microsoft has big bucks. Microsoft has fuck you money. I was like, yes, Microsoft has all the fuck you money.
They really just flexed.
We all know, like, and he said the same thing we all say. It was a power move. It was legit. It was legit just flex. Allow me to show you my true power.
And I think it's even more impactful because of the fact that like how Xbox currently like holds their policies, especially with Game Pass. So the fact that they acquired Bethesda, not only did they just reserve the rights to make like Microsoft exclusive games with them, but they also are able to include them on Game Pass.
Like, legitimately, I was cloud gaming with Skyrim. You could do the same shit with fucking Doom. You could do the same shit with fucking Rage. You can do the same shit with Fallout. You could do Prey, anything that is a Bethesda or what was it? Was it ZeniMax? ZeniMax, how do you pronounce it?
I don't remember. There was a Z one for sure.
Yeah, like anything that's a property of those two IP, like IP software, like all that kind of stuff. Like the three companies that were those two companies that were included in the purchase, Bethesda and IP, like anything that belongs to those two is now a Microsoft property.
Damn.
And now we're all just sitting here and we're just like, this is the mind-blowing thing to think about. They bought Bethesda for more money than Disney paid for Star Wars.
My God.
Disney paid $4 million, like 4-point-something million for Star Wars. Microsoft paid like 7.5 billion for Bethesda.
That was that's certainly a power move.
That's fuck you money.
Nintendo headquarters, PlayStation headquarters, they're counting like the numbers like by their fingers, like that's a lot of money. It's a lot.
It's like they count up all those dollar bills like in a grid pattern. It all just comes up to a big middle finger.
It's the GameCube logo, but shaped into a middle finger.
Bang.
Bethesda. Now, I haven't really, aside from Starfield, right? We haven't really seen anything else aside from that, and that means they're probably in the works right now. But
sounds super interesting though.
Yeah, I'm curious about Starfield. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect about that. Like, it kind of came off as almost like a realistic type of almost interstellar type of experience. And then they started talking about the worlds you'd be going into. I was like, oh, okay, it's fantasy. Got you.
Oh yeah, but it definitely seems like because they said it's like they said the cities and stuff like that. It's like, imagine. They said the city system would probably be very similar to Skyrim. To which I'm like, from what I've seen, it's like, wow, there's actually a lot of shit to do in the cities in Skyrim.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm like, and this is it's like I think they said this is gonna be a procedurally generated some parts kind of game, meaning this is gonna be an ever expanding fucking shit, and I'm just like,
they do have that potential. They do have that potential.
I was like, I'm sorry.
Honestly, just looking at No Man's Sky, just taking notes, we could just, okay.
Yeah, I think they did the same thing with Skyrim, for the upgraded versions. I think they did a thing where they did some parts of the world that be procedurally generated, so they'd have more stuff to
do. It's kind of interesting with Skyrim because of the fact that
it's a buggy ass mess.
That too, but it's also just an established section of this whole world that they got going on. So I can see some expansion, but because it's a physical boundary type of map, it's hard for me to imagine them being able to do some procedurally generated expansions here and there. Unless I might be perceiving that differently, because with
the realm of Skyrim goes on forever.
I swear to God, that was an actual line.
And of course, that's all while they're waiting for Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the whole world's called Tamriel, right?
I believe so.
And then Skyrim is just that section, that region.
It's just that region inside the entire place. It's like Skyrim's that a Nordic region.
Mm-hmm. They aren't really heavy on the Nordics, but of course, there's also other races there too.
Oh yeah. I think Skyrim, the world of Skyrim specifically, is very Viking inspired.
Yeah. Ghost Hand says, Todd Howard, buy my game.
Oh, don't forget, also Todd Howard. It just works.
It just works.
Don't forget. And don't forget Fallout First. $100 fucking It's like, you kidding me? $100 subscription.
They did do that, huh? I forgot about that.
Dude, they've lowered it to where you can get it for a lot cheaper now, but like just the fact that it started out as 100, I was like,
God.
are you fucking tripping?
Like, bruh, $100 subscription? Is that per year or is that per month? What?
That's like when I heard $100, I was like, y'all have gotten a swollen ass head, haven't you?
The premium Fallout experience. Also, Fallout 76. Although, to be fair, I guess that's kind of like slightly better, like within its own community.
It's gotten better with updates.
Yeah, so I'll give props for that one. Although
but like just the fact they're like it's like that was back in the time where everyone thought Bethesda could do no wrong.
Oh my god. Well, keep them in check. Accountability.
I mean, it's like, here's the thing. They thought, like, because even though Bethesda's games have always been buggy messes,
They've also been fun.
Yeah, they've had good entertainment value. They've had good stories, but 76 just came out in such a yikes.
Yeah, they for that online like just experience, they took out like the core elements of what made Fallout is what I understand.
Yeah, like there were still like my brother enjoyed it, and that's like that's the thing. It's like you're still gonna find people who enjoy it.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's like the same thing with Assassin's Creed Unity. Like it wasn't very well received because of the bugs at launch, but I barely encountered most of those bugs at launch. So like in my experience, I enjoyed it a lot more than some other people who got a bunch of bugs.
Oh, but I was gonna say, just a little quick aside. This won't really pertain to anyone who watches these YouTube uploaded podcasts, but we're gonna have a little quick thing that happens like in about like 5 minutes from now that kills the stream, but like boots it up again. So when that happens, don't be shocked, everyone. In the meantime, I wanted to just kind of like hit on some other points as well, like in the topics. But quick shout outs to Ghosthand saying Morrowind is the Middle Eastern / swamped insectoid like societies. Oblivion is high European fantasy. Skyrim is Northern Viking. Celt.
Oh yeah, the Celts.
Thank you.
I mean Celtic, Celtic. There's different ways of saying it.
Okay. I did also what did I? Oh yeah, I'll just kind of looking at the topics list here as we go along. Another game that came out, Metroid Dread. It came out. Wait, I think it was technically yesterday. I think it was also like it didn't have like a midnight launch. It was kind of I guess it was just a situation where like whether it's a review copy or just simply they had it available earlier on Thursday. Essentially, it came out like yesterday. And I was able to play it actually yesterday night, and I just want to report it's a fantastic game so far. Please go buy that shit immediately.
Go check out the clip where you can hear Justin's asshole go.
I had a lot of highlights. Some of them unfortunately led to were all Emmy encounters for the most part, but I gotta say like that game has. I mean, people are saying like there's like still like the limited budget involved there, but like what I see is just so polished as far as like the focus, like animation wise for Samus is like a huge thing. Just the flow of combat / gameplay is just phenomenal so far, and yeah, just telling you right now, like honestly, it's been like what 19 years. That's a long time for Metroid, so
it's a long ass time.
But I think it paid off because like this game like is so good for like the 2D Metroid like genre, because it's just so. I mean, obviously it had a lot to build up to too, because of the fact that like ever since like its release, as well as Castlevania, there's been these Metroidvania type of games that kept outdoing themselves. So how do we get the king and or queen back on top again? You get Metroid Dread. That's what it is.
Castlevania, you're up next.
honestly, like we've seen a lot of like Castlevania like games. Castlevania's having its advanced collection. I think it's already released. Yeah, it's already out. So I don't know what the development's like over there, or if there's any future projects. But I mean, hell, like they got like a lot to build up for themselves as well too. Because honestly, Bloodstain is like pretty much like a near copy of of Castlevania. So I would love to see like what they could do next with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I mean, obviously next week we got like what was it? Demon Slayer. I keep forgetting what the name of it. Thank you. That's coming out, so I'll definitely have to do some coverage as far as like kind of revisiting Storm 4 and just kind of like talking about that for a bit, and then we'll jump into like Demon Slayer, because I'll probably get that game too. I'll be like, look at this, CyberConnect 2 just showing the polish.
Justin, invite me.
Yes, for sure. just so we can like just get characters to duke it against each other. It'll be great. And honestly, like I think all around it's starting to shape up to be a really good game. Not just like in the sheer like versus like gameplay, but just simply like how they're doing the story, possible expansions here and there. Although I haven't heard anything about that, but I'm doing that's a thing that can happen.
There's going to be like 6 free characters.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Basically 6 free playable demons.
Nice. Honestly, I think the game just it kind of seems like there's not going to be a lot of playable demon characters. But like obviously you'll see those in the story, but I wonder like will that translate into them being like playable characters going forward?
I know that Akaza is one of the playable ones.
Who was Akaza again?
End of Mugen Train.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Martial arts.
Oh yes, of course. There was also the other one, like at the first half of it.
Yep. I did see him in the trailer. He might be in it, and but I'd also know the Spider Boy.
Yeah, Spider Boy. He was like kind of a big threat.
He was a very big threat.
Yeah. So honestly, like just a quick aside, like as like Tanjiro as of now of like the anime / like movie canon doesn't seem to be still strong enough to like fight against him again. But
he nearly killed him.
Almost. Yeah, but unfortunately, like there was just another trick that he had.
He's like, you see now, if you cut off my head, I die.
I die, but I cut off my own head. I'm all right.
He's like, this motherfucker, he found a loophole.
Yeah, that's crazy. Also, welcome back to everyone who like returned back from like the stream crashing. You good? Honestly, I just want to like talk about like the last things I did like from today actually, and then I'm pretty much good to call for podcasts. But there was a reason why we had the stream late. It was because I actually ended up having plans with a bunch of my cousins actually, and my brother. But yeah, like my cousins. The situation was that like my cousin is moving out a little bit farther out. We're still having like this camp situation for Thanksgiving that's still in the works, but essentially with him moving makes it a lot harder for everyone to get together as it is. So we just had like this outing. We had dim sum, and that was honestly really good. I'll tell you this, like this was like at like 1 p.m. I was already getting sleepy. I was like damn, that was a good eat. I need coffee. I need coffee again. We went to like a nearby mall, and we just got some coffee over there. We were walking around. We were just like enjoying each other's company. And then honestly, I think aside from us taking a detour to like a boba place that I guess apparently someone who works with Wong Fu Production actually like works there too.
Oh shit, Wong Fu?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't recognize anyone familiar. Honestly, like Wong Fu Productions, like I recognize like that name, but as far as like the actual like people there, I kind of don't really have a good grasp on like who they are. But simple matter of fact, I guess like what was it? One of my cousins like boyfriend like actually has like a connection like with like a couple people, like including like Kev Jumba, just like from like different things. Honestly, like if I have him like on a guest podcast, that'd be great because he'd be better at reciting like these stories. But this is why I just hear from him. But yeah, we just had like tea and boba over there before we just like went home. I wasn't expecting this, but my battery was dying at that time. I was but thankfully like that's why it like came home like at a better time, I suppose. We pretty much stopped there and we all went our separate ways at that point, and I was like, okay, I have a couple pickups I gotta do like for like Best Buy, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. Fortunately, my phone was dying, but shout out to Best Buy because even though like my phone was dying for the curbside pickup, I could still go inside and pick it up from there. So I wanted to take a little bit of moment of time to showcase the things I picked up, and I'm so happy with this pickup because it's a big one, and it's also kind of like getting like games from like both consoles, Xbox One generally speaking, and the Switch. I'll go ahead and just like show off the Xbox ones. It's actually Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 Guardians. So I now have the physical. So I now have the physicals for them. And this is funny. Only on Xbox One. That aged beautifully. In the sense that it didn't. But I'm just glad to have the physical copies. The other ones were No More Heroes 1 and 2. So these are like the Best Buy like cover variants. So I now have 1 through 3. I just don't have Travis Strikes Back, and I might just go ahead and just get the digital copy for that one.
Got you.
I have plans to probably do like a marathon this like one day, but probably not soon. But this is like the last thing. It's like the biggest thing because it's the coolest shit. It's the amiibo set for Metroid Dread.
Oh shit!
It's so cool. So it has like it has Samus, it has the Emmy right there. Like the packaging by itself is super cool, but just the pose, it's great. And now I think about it, like I could probably like place these guys like right in front of like the Switch, and like literally swap off amiibos like for whatever game I'm playing. So it's just one of those things where like I didn't expect myself to be able to get this one, and just like what was it? Well, Skyward Sword, like there was just a restock just like before launch, so I was just like, oh quick, I gotta go get it. So now we got it. So it won't really do much as far as like the actual game. When you actually like use those like in the game, essentially they just kind of give you like free resources. I think like one extra like energy tank, maybe some like additional like missile supplies, but that's kind of it. Which I'm totally fine with because like I don't want like any groundbreaking type of things going on. I would just like
the Monster Hunter amiibos gave you more than that.
Yeah, honestly, like, but it's kind of like within the realm of like that's kind of okay. It just kind of gives you like, I think Monster Hunter kind of gives you like a lot more like resources that are like, especially like when you use it daily.
And some badass outfits.
That too. They do have like the cover or the layer armor for both yourself, the Palico, and the Palamute. So yeah, those are super cool. My god, honestly, if he's so cool, like if you got the PC version and you can do cross like progression, so you can actually like play that but also still have the layer armor and just be like,
I have a Switch. Oh,
I got both copies. You're but yeah, so it was definitely like a good set of things to get for sure. And I'm so happy specifically about getting like the Halo series because I don't know about like marathoning it, but it's like one of the things where like I just have it. So like, I mean, aside from like the online stuff that you can do, but it's just nice. I just never had these, but I played these individually through Game Pass, and it's one of those situations where you just wait for the price to go down somewhat.
I got Master Chief Collection day fucking 1.
Yeah, honestly, like, well, actually, I have like a somewhat funny story about that. It's not really Master Chief Collection. I actually never got like Master Chief Collection until now. But as far as like the story about Halo, my brother actually, I guess on a whim, back when Halo 1 got like an anniversary like collection.
Oh yeah,
board,
the anniversary.
Yeah. He just kind of went to a GameStop like I get like just midnight launch, and it was one of those things where it's like you didn't need to, because it's not like heavily sought after, but it's just one of those things. But I mean, we have it, and it's one of those like cool games to just have, but like you don't really need it. And honestly, it's one of those things where like if you just waited, would have been on Game Pass anyway. But
bruh, have you never been to a GameStop midnight launch?
I'm reviewing my records. No, I haven't.
I have.
How was that? And what was it for, actually? Was it for Gears?
I was there for the Xbox One launch.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
That was an experience.
I bet. And honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to do this for, like, the pro physical, like, collection aspect of it, but just simply because physicals do kind of carry, like, an additional, like memory for you. And that's just simply, like, what it took to get that, the experience you have playing the game, like going forward. But that's how I remember like that Master Chief anniversary, or not Master Chief, Halo anniversary. It was just that like my brother
the Halo
just did
Combat Evolved anniversary.
Yeah, my brother just did it on a whim. We actually had like the original, like, but it was like a PC version of it. That was kind of funny too, because it was either that or Unreal Tournament at the time. Like we got a PC version of it. And I think I've talked about it before, but the story of that one was that, like, I guess, a kid was not behaving so well, so the parent was like, "All right, we're gonna take away like Unreal Tournament. Here, do what you will." I was like, "Oh, you're."
that midnight launch event for the one was also it's a good memory for me and my brother, because that's like we went there together, and like we just spent that night together waiting, and it was a good time.
I personally never was a part of like a launch for like a midnight launch for like any game, like from what I remember, just going out and like waiting at like Best Buy or GameStop. But as far as the Switch, I was actually there. I think you already know the story here too, but it was when Anaya and Nolan, I think, went out to pick up a Switch, and I was just there with Steven. We were just chilling out, and then they came back with the Switch in hand. And even though like I didn't do it, like that's still like an experience, because like we was literally just unpackaging it, playing it like handheld for the first time, and us just like peering over his shoulder and then having it docked. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Using the Joy-Cons for the first time, we're like, oh, this is so tiny, but it works. It was such an experience.
Right. I remember like I took a picture of like my my new Xbox One with all the games surrounded by it. I was like, this shit's tight. I was just, next thing you know, I remember turning it on, booting it up, and like just like, or the new Kinect camera I could see in the dark too.
Oh really? Oh, that's
yeah,
crazy.
It was like it was night. It could literally just see me clearly. I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
I see you, Mark. How do you know my name? I didn't register you yet. I see everything.
Oh yeah, but that's definitely, a midnight launch was definitely a good experience. I remember these guys drove by in a car. They were like, achievement.
Achievement.
I told the guys I was waiting. I told the guys I was just chatting with, like we all laughed at this. I said, could you imagine that car crashes right now? Just we have to sit here. We go, trophy.
My God. Oh man, man. Also, I totally didn't think about this, but the fact is that like Master Chief Collection has a rated M, but Guardians has rated T for teen. So what's gonna happen about Infinite?
Infinite will probably go back to M.
You think so?
I would think.
Yeah, well, I guess to be fair, like, actually I can't really say for certain because I haven't really played the campaign yet, but that will be something before, Infinite's launch. Trust, but maybe it's something to do with the fact that like a lot of the enemies aren't like that, like, I guess synthetic, I suppose. Like maybe
they've got blood.
They don't have like blood. They just simply like just evaporate. Maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot more Prometheans in Halo 5.
Ah, got you. And honestly, because of just like how Halo was, they can't possibly like try to get rid of all the gore that was involved. So yeah, so they have to keep it as like rated M. Damn. Also, another thing, Master Chief Collection still has Bungie like on it right here, but of course,
Yeah,
since Guardians,
yeah. It's because it's like a lot of the games are still made by Bungie.
Yeah.
They still get their credit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Mark, was there anything you wanted to add? Because right now I'm gonna shift over. Well, once I end the podcast anyway, I'm gonna shift over to Metroid Dread, and we'll just continue.
There is one thing that I could talk about.
Oh.
Dragon Ball Superhero.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. So
because we got new information on that with the new trailer.
Okay, I got you. All right, so was the video that you shared like a relatively short like minute long thing, or was it like a 5-minute long thing?
Oh, the when I said like
yeah,
that was like a minute long trailer.
Okay, then I watched the same thing because I just stumbled across it again on YouTube. I was like, was this the one that Mark shared? Oh, whatever, click. And then I was like, oh shit, okay, so this is all the stuff.
And it looked good.
It does look good. I like that they're taking a different like art style for reals. Like it is just kind of like a 3D-esque model type of movie. Like I did like obviously Broly. That was a really good like art style, but I'm also happy that they're trying different things too.
Oh yeah, I like the new look. Like I think it's the best CG that we've had in Dragon Ball. I think it's definitely really good. But like I am gonna miss the art style from Broly because I really did love it. Mm-hmm. But I'm fine with this too. This still seems good.
Yeah. So
we got a lot of plot details.
Okay, I was gonna ask like, so what do we know about this one?
We know that it'll be taking place in age 784, which is the same year where Z ends.
Oh, okay.
So that means because it's been 10 years since they beat Majin Buu.
Damn, 10 years. How old were Goten and Trunks at that time? Like, because the way that
they were 7 and 8.
Oh yeah, okay. Holy shit, dude. They're pretty much like adults.
Yeah, that's why we see Pan as a grown up too. So I mean, if they do appear in this movie, like I said, they'll probably have their end of Z appearances.
But could you imagine?
If they don't, Kristoff, I'm never gonna hear the fucking end of it.
I see him making the hand gestures. I see him leaning back and then like torquing forward to tell you like they.
I can't say you're wrong.
They absolutely miss.
But yeah, like so basically this is taking place in the same year that Z ends, but before the 28th tournament where Goku flies off with Oob.
Oh, okay.
And it would appear that the enemies will be facing Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are their names.
Okay.
They would appear to be from the Red Ribbon Army.
That's interesting because
that's a huge callback.
Because I was like, I thought they were like, if anything, like they had nothing to go against like Goku and Co. Like they should just stop, but they haven't.
Yeah, like, I thought after Jiro they were done.
Right. But I guess they're just still like in the shadows, just working on stuff. And as far as I understand, they have like 2 byproducts. And that's Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. And how are they going to pose a threat against like our main character cast? I have no idea.
There's a theory going around right now. Like a theory, like it's not confirmed, it's just a theory that maybe they were made using the perfected android data from Jiro's work on Cell.
Oh. Well, I guess I mean, like, when you introduce new threats, they obviously have to have, like, a certain power level beyond, like, our casts that make them, like, legitimate threats. But it's kind of hard to believe because of, like, where Goku's been. Just, like...
Definitely.
because like the stuff he has to go through is beyond anything you'll ever find like on Earth or even Namek. So
legit gods.
yeah, so I mean, not to say it's like impossible, but if Gamma 1 or Gamma 2 have that potential to get that type of information and like apply that to themselves, that's scary. It'd just be interesting to see how that plays off.
Oh yeah, and of course we did see we did see in like some frames, like, you know, we see Goku's training on Beerus' planet with Broly, which is like, ooh.
And I'm gonna be honest, like watching it in real time, I cannot see it.
Yeah, you gotta slow it down to see it.
Like really slow it down. So I was like, oh shit, they're bringing back the boy.
I was like, yes.
And when I mean my boy, I mean like 50 or something other year old.
just chilling with Tarzan himself.
It really be like that actually.
Oh, I'm just so happy to see him.
It's just, oh my god. I'm happy that he's part of the canon and he's actually a good guy now.
I love that he's a good guy. I love so much that Broly is a good guy.
I like that they're on Beerus' planet.
I know. I love that he's actually training him like he said he would.
Right. I wonder how Beerus is going to respond to that. Like, motherfucker, you trying to like
Are you serious? Are you making my planet into a dojo?
Do you have every intent on taking like the throne away from me, but not actually claiming it? You... Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Little Beerus like anything to make me stronger, and this guy's the next thing to do it.
You've got balls, I'll give you that.
All right, let's see what this one can do.
All
30 minutes later.
Then, of course, we also saw Pan's new design in the trailer.
She has 2 different designs now, right?
There's the one with her and the schoolgirl, like the little, like the young school outfit, like, you know, with the little hat and everything.
Yeah.
And
I was like, oh, that's super cute. And then you see this,
where she's training with Uncle Piccolo.
She's got Tifa gloves, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yo, like, she's like, well, I think the director at the panel, because it was like during the New York Comic Con, like, and they at the panel, the director called him like Grandpa Piccolo.
Oh my god, Grandpa Piccolo. He's still at it.
So they've got Grandpa Goku and Grandpa Piccolo.
I have 2 grandpas. Excuse me?
Yes.
But I got 2 dads. Huh?
Yeah.
Wait.
He said that Pan would play a very big role in the movie.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Honestly, she technically kind of did in the battle like among gods and then like the anime adaptation still. But to have an active role would be really nice too. Because honestly, I'm kind of curious because like Pan from like the one that we're used to like way back when, GT Pan, she was definitely like playing a good role like in that like series, but for the most part, like as far as the strength, like she kind of like didn't really show that. And honestly, to be fair, like she was kind of like in the middle of a journey for that, so
she had some power to her. She just wasn't incredibly powerful.
Yeah, and I guess also GT was focused on Goku for the most part. Even Trunks was there, but like it was still Goku show. It was still the Goku show. So, granted, this is still the Goku movie. It has Pan in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and we see that in the trailer we see Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. The 2 people that they're really focusing on fighting are Goku and Piccolo.
That's interesting. Like, I get Goku obviously, but Piccolo's like, come on, Piccolo's like the grandpa now.
It don't mean he's a slouch.
Yeah, he didn't slouch around like. My God,
we
dude.
We saw in the Tournament of Power, he's still plenty strong.
I was gonna say, like, listen, you can't count on him to do like the finishing blow like to a major villain, but will he be consistent enough to keep up with you later on? He will.
What did I say? I mean, like, he is probably the strongest Namekian in Universe 7.
Yeah, he is. I mean, like, it's kind of crazy because aside from like the fusions he's gone through, like he himself just trains.
Yeah, so he just builds his level up normally.
And that's kind of crazy. That's like already crazy, like as it is, because he still went like somewhat toe to toe with the guys from the other universe that literally accumulated the entire race into like 2 people.
I know, their entire race into their bodies, and he still kept up with them. It's like,
Like, holy shit.
imagine if he did that.
I bet, like right now?
Imagine if he fucking absorbed all the Namekians from Universe 7's Namek. He'd probably be on Beerus's level.
Oh my god. Like, actually, like, oh my god.
Like, but there was that, and like, I've been hearing, I don't know if it's true or not, I've been hearing about Goku and Piccolo actually being beaten.
That seems to be part of the course of the story like that, yeah. Unfortunate,
And
but yeah,
that would lead Pan and her family, the rest of her family, to finish the fight.
Oh shit. Gohan's family finishes the fight.
Which would be sick, actually, to see Gohan and fam actually try that out. Like, 'cause, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, and I'm pretty sure I'll be satisfied either way.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be pretty cool, seeing Gohan and Pan, father-daughter, finish this up.
That'd be cool. Also, like, surprises, like, revisit to Videl, and she's kicking ass too. Like, what the fuck?
And, like, it'd be interesting because I have no idea if we're going to see Goten or Trunks or not.
They ought to show up because, like, the whole cast is just kind of involved, especially when they're like all on Earth. But I guess we'll see. We'll see.
We'll probably see Vegeta.
Okay. Now, I never had any issues with like the 2 well, technically 3 movies now, Battle of Gods, Resurrection of F. Both of those have been like adapted into like the canon, and then of course Broly. Ooh, actually, for Broly, we actually haven't seen him yet adapted, and now we have like superhero. Like, where does this fit in the timeline? I mean, actually,
It's way in the back.
It's like way far. Like, you gotta wonder, like, how strong is Goku now? Like, are we talking about like? I mean, this
would technically be a time skip.
Okay, because at this point, like, the manga is already dealing with like a serious arc. So, and at that point, like, Goku and Vegeta are doing some crazy stuff. So, would they be showing that like in this movie? Is my question.
And according to the panel, it's canon.
It's canon. Oh shit. So it's gonna happen, and we're gonna see that kind of stuff. And I
think it's actually cool. I think it's cool that we're getting what we're getting right now, and they're also showing us ahead of time a little event that happens.
A little something. Although I myself is kind of curious to know what that is specifically. But you know,
it appears to be a super arc involving the Red Ribbon Army.
Oh, that okay. I was like, oh, okay.
As right now we're dealing with Granola.
Yes.
Which is it's been a fire arc so far.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I guess to be fair, like between that and Tournament Power, and also like the Moro arc as well, that doesn't span too much of a time period either. So
yeah.
This is like a time skip.
This is a big ass time skip.
God damn, Goku Vegeta like aging up like that.
I didn't realize that Vegeta is 50. It's like 50. I didn't realize that he's 50 years old. I was like, excuse me.
They're so wild. Like, imagine the other Z fighters, dude. I mean, it's not from Piccolo, right? Piccolo gets the pass, but like we got Krillin, Tien, even Yamcha. Like, I mean,
great shape for their age.
Great shape, right? But they're gonna get older.
The thing about Saiyans is that Saiyans age slower.
So they can retain their fighting form because that's their fighting race. But
that's why at 50 they still look so young.
Right. I mean, we're gonna honestly, we might see. Well, actually, you know what? Obviously we've seen like other characters like at the end of like Dragon Ball Z. So there's that to consider. But I was just thinking about like not GT Goku, but GT Krillin. I was like, bruh, he old.
Dude, he got hit hard.
Mm-hmm. He grew hair though. Again,
they did him so dirty.
They did. It's interesting. Well, I guess like that's part of the course, but the androids age as well.
Oh yeah, because they're still part human.
They're still part human, so that still grows out.
I will say this though.
Hmm.
Say what you will about GT. It had some good stuff. And on top of that, our Team 4-Star said this, and I gotta agree with them a little bit. The ending to GT might actually be like an almost perfect ending to Dragon Ball.
Honestly, yeah. From what I remember from it, like just showing the generations kind of persisting throughout, but with Goku, obviously, kind of like
that last sparring session with Krillin and with Master Roshi, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That flying off with Shenron.
My god, dude. I mean, they kept it for like fighters, and that's like probably one of the best things to see. And I mean, yeah, just the ending's great, honestly, for GT.
It's quite literally almost if not the most perfect way that I could ever see it actually truly ending.
So we might revisit that again later on.
If it seems like if they were ever going to end Dragon Ball permanently, that seems like it would be like a good way to actually end it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, speaking of ending, do we have anything else for this podcast?
No,
that we need to touch upon?
I think I touched up on all the details for Superhero. It's coming out 2022.
Yeah, okay. So
expect
a lot of development.
Yeah, and I assume we're gonna get a bit more details because it's the same thing with Broly. We got more details as we get closer to the actual event.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes Rising is at the end of this month.
What was Heroes Rising?
Or not Heroes Rising. World Hero Mission.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, wait,
I still gotta buy my ticket.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do the same thing too. But yeah.
But yeah, I think I got all the plot points. 784. It looks like it's gonna be a good movie. I'm honestly really excited to see the new Dragon Ball movie. Superhero. It looks fucking good.
I'm curious to see the animation that worked there, especially when it comes to the fighting sequences. It's like, damn, dude, Broly just showed the potential. So,
dude, Broly's was fucking nut-worthy animation. That was oh.
No, don't. No.
Oh. Everything in that was just chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm. It was really, really good. And honestly, I just can't wait for that to just be part of the anime as well.
That was all hand drawn, and I'm just like, wow.
All the drawing, all the yelling, all of it just encompassed into this great film where everyone just gets hyped.
The action, dude, it was when you went and saw. I went and saw the movie the first night, and dude, when you go to a Dragon Ball movie that is in a theater with all the fans together, it's such a great time.
Mm-hmm.
It's an event. It really is.
I remember, actually, just a really quick aside before we end. And this might be interesting because I'm not sure when Team 4-Star ended, right? Because they had a really big impact on the Dragon Ball community as far as I actually don't know the specifics of that. I just know that from this reviewer's perspective, when they jumped into the theater, there's just nothing but Team 4-Star references plastered all over. You're not wrong. So it's been a while, right, since Team 4-Star has stopped with their abridged series.
I was literally at Hero Rising, the second My Hero movie, and a trailer for Super Broly played, and this dude sounded exactly. His impression of TFS Vegeta was perfect. And you hear him go, "Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!" I went, Vegeta.
my god. But so yeah, it's been a while. So I wonder if like that aspect of their lives being like influenced by Team 4-Star has like come and gone, and now it's going to be like the lens of just having engrossed themselves in like the mainline series. And I'm curious as to how people will like now view Dragon Ball going forward from that new perspective, slightly, if anything, altered. So
I want you to think about this for a second, because there's a Goku parade balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
This is true. So it spans even farther than one could ever imagine.
Like, Goku has literally... He's become a symbol in the West.
It's true.
Like, he's become an icon.
This is very true.
Which is, like, it's really cool to see.
Like, it is, actually,
especially as someone like me, like, you know, I fucking love Dragon Ball, and just the fact to see that, like, Goku just become such an icon for anime in the West, it's just really fucking cool to see him, like, everywhere. Like, you see him in the parade, you'll see him in stores all over America.
This is true.
It's just like, wow. It's nice to see that the cultures are blending, and like anime is being accepted, and it's becoming a normal thing.
I guess I can't really say like it is a normal thing, because it's not quite there, but it's definitely part of the culture now.
Oh yeah, I think anime is definitely becoming way more culturally accepted.
Yeah, it's part of the mainstream. It's almost part of our culture, as you were saying. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, manga and anime culture is definitely being adapted into American culture. Like, it's gotten so popular in America.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, all this talk about, well, yeah, all the talk about Dragon Ball and like influence like on the Western side, and the fact is that it's still going is crazy. Honestly, like I'm now curious about the sales for this new movie, because Broly was wild.
It sold.
It broke
so much.
I mean, there's Demon Slayer. Props to Demon Slayer, right? But
in Japan, they killed it.
Absolutely.
Like, I think it was the highest selling Japanese movie ever.
Like, holy shit.
Like, that is like, holy fuck.
Yeah, but having said that, like, Broly is... Oh, I was hearing like a little bit of it. I don't have the actual physical number on it, but like, that did superiorly well.
Like, it sold.
They got their money back and then some.
And it was a great watch.
It definitely deserved it, actually. But yeah, all right. I think we're good. So I'm gonna be real honest, for those who might stick around for like Metroid Dread. I'll still do it. I'll just probably cut the stream and then like resume at like in 10 minutes, just so I can like refresh myself up. But yeah, so let me just like end this traditionally as a podcast and as a stream, and then I'll revisit you guys for Metroid Dread later tonight in 10 minutes. But yeah, all right. So thank you guys so much for watching or tuning in to this episode of DangIT Prodcast. This is episode 381. My name is Justin. Mark? I didn't hear you the first time if you did. But yeah, and thanks for watching. #bye, everyone.
Later, yeah.